Hi, this is Alex Helmbricht, the Sports Information Director at Chadron State College, and I'm sitting here this morning with Chadron State women's basketball coach Tim Keneally. The Eagles had a pretty successful weekend here at Armstrong Gymnasium, opening on Friday with a 71-48 victory over Regis, and then that was followed by a 71-43 setback to Metro State. The Roadrunners entered that game as the number 3 team in the nation. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But, Coach, beginning with Regis, really a game you should be pretty happy about. Regis is one of the at least standings-wise, is one of the top teams in the RMAC there. They entered the game with a 2-0 record in the conference, and you guys led wire to wire and played solid defense throughout.
Yeah, I thought we had a good defensive game plan, excuse me, and the kids executed it, very, very well. We did have a couple breakdowns here and there, but for the most part, we were able to kind of have some built-in help because generally they had a player on the floor who wasn't a three-point threat, and whoever we matched up on that person kind of ran a one-man zone in the middle of the paint. And when you do that, there's a number of things you can do. We were able to put shorter players on their real good player, Purdy, and front her and have help. You're also able to pressure more on the perimeter because if you give up dribble penetration, excuse me, the help's sitting right there behind you. So I thought the kids did a good job of executing.
As Coach mentioned, Purdy finished with a team-high 17 points for Regis. She also added 11 rebounds. But she was only 5 of 15 from the field and 7 of 10 from the free throw line, so she definitely had to work for her points. 3 Eagles finished in double figures, led by Sadie Waugh on 17 points. She also added 8 rebounds. Caitlin Petrie had her first double-double this season. She had 12 points and 11 rebounds. She also added 4 assists in a steal. And then Dallas Shaw had 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists. So really a nice performance from several different girls.
Yeah, it was. And, Dallas, she didn't have any turnovers either. And for her, we've been really focusing on that as just her overall decision-making and 6 assists to no turnovers. We couldn't be more happy, but even outside of those players, we get 9 points from Lexi Smith. We get 9 points from Katie Ranta, 8 points from Marla Munson. We were really close to putting 6 kids in double figures. And when we can have that kind of balanced scoring, what that tells you is we're really sharing the ball offensively, and it's not getting stagnant. We're not holding it. We're getting good ball movement, player movement, and then we get better looks.
Yeah, as Coach mentioned, Lexi Smith hit 3 threes to finish with 9 points. And then Katie Rana also had 9 coming off the bench and 6 rebounds, 5 defensively, which I know is something you've really emphasized with her.
Yeah, she's done a great job of rebounding the basketball this year. I think rebounds per minutes played, she's either 1 or 2 on our team right now. And she's brought a lot more focus to that area of her game, and it's showing.
And then Marla Munson finished with 8 points. All 8 of her points came from the free throw line, where really Chadron State dominated. They were 25 of 35 from the charity stripe, while Regis was 12 of 16. Neither team really shot three-pointers very well. The Eagles made 4 of 14, but as Coach mentioned, the Rangers were not very good at all. 0 of 14 there from the three-point line. So you take away something that a team is good at, they're going to struggle. Coach, that was followed by really a tough game against Metro State. The Roadrunners just came out of the gates firing, came into the game as a number 3 overall team in the nation, and they certainly looked the part.
Yeah, they're just a tough team, and they have a couple players who are kind of flashy, but for the most part, it's just a bunch of kids that play really, really well together and are very physical. And defensively, that's definitely the strength of their game. They don't do anything flashy. It's just a half-court man-to-man defense, but they just do it very, very well, and they get through screens well, they communicate well defensively, and then they just rebound the basketball on both ends of the floor. They're extremely physical and athletic.
It was probably a forgettable first 10 minutes for you guys. The Eagles missed their first 12 shots. It's kind of how Metro built their big 39-14 halftime lead. But basically a second half that was about even. Metro State scored 32 compared to Chadron State's 29. So you got to give your girls a lot of credit that they didn't quit.
Yeah, they didn't quit. And, Metro really didn't put in a bench. They don't really have a bench. They only had 10 kids. But in the second half, I just thought we were more aggressive offensively, getting the ball into the paint and, really trying to force the issue a little bit. And, in the first half, I think, we may have been in awe just a little bit in the sense that offensively, after I watched tape, we were getting some decent looks. We were just rushing them when we didn't have to. We were getting open looks on the perimeter, open threes, even some open looks down low, but for whatever reason, we just felt rushed. I think it's because, there for a while we weren't really getting good looks, and then when they were open, they felt like they didn't have time to shoot when we did. But in the second half, we just kind of calmed down a little bit and started making a few more few more shots.
Kaylee Dow led Metro State with 19 points on 9 of 9 shooting. It was a very efficient game for her. She scored 19 points in just 13 minutes of action. She's a senior post-transfer from the University of Colorado. And then Jasmine Cervantes had a very good game. She finished with 13 points, 11 assists, and 8 rebounds. So Metro can certainly hurt you several different ways with a point guard and a center combination like that.
Yeah, and that the center's good. She can step out and shoot threes. She's 6'2". She has a mid-range jumper. She can drive from the perimeter. Good post player inside, good post moves, and Cervantes gets 11 assists, and going back on film, 5 of those were just dumping the ball down to their post player. So, she does a good job of finding her and looking for her and knowing when she has the seal and when she doesn't.
Received a nice performance from Kata Williams, who was really aggressive, especially in the second half. She tied a career high with 14 points, but she was the only Eagle in double figures. Lexi Smith finished with 9, again hitting 3 threes, so another nice performance from beyond the arc from her. But when you only have one player in double figures, it's going to be hard to get a win.
Yeah, and that's what this team does to you. I mean, they just defend extremely well and take away what you want to do. I do think in the second half we did a better job of trying to execute what we were doing by getting the ball into the paint via post feeds and dribble penetration, and they're subject to it, because they pressure pretty hard out on the perimeter and don't respect the drive a whole heck of a lot. And I think Kata Williams, to an extent, kind of exposed that a little bit in the second half.
Well, the Eagles will have 2 more games this weekend, really finishing out the 2011 home schedule. They will host Colorado Christian and Colorado School of Mines. The game times are a little bit different because of commencement for Shattern State College on Friday afternoon. The games will be moved to Saturday and Sunday. They're both going to be matinees, so a different starting time. They'll both start at 1. Those games will tip off at Armstrong Gymnasium. Coach, Colorado Christian will be here on Saturday. They enter the contest with a 2-7 record and 0-3 in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, which is really kind of a surprise, but they feature one of the conference's best young players, Christina Whitelaw, averages 13 points and 9 rebounds, and she also gets about 4 steals a game. So a very effective player who kind of does what Colorado Christian wants her to do on the defensive side, where she can kind of just wander around and try to get that ball.
Yeah, they kind of run what we call a diamond press, where it's a 1-2-1-1 full court press, and she's in the top of that diamond. So the top 3 players will be trapping the basketball. Meanwhile, she's roaming and just reading the person's eyes who's in a trap, and waiting for them to make a bad pass out. And she's anticipates very well. She's very quick. She gets a lot of her offensive points in transition, off of some of those steals. But she's a good guard in the half court too. She can shoot threes. She can drive. She's a very good basketball player.
As CSC women's basketball fans will remember, the Eagles upset CCU, entered the game kind of ranked last year. It was in late February, and really kind of employed a unique offensive strategy where you just had 4 people box out, and then you sent Marla Munson just down as kind of a gunner and basically a cherry picker. Are you going to try to do the same thing this weekend, do you think?
Well, I don't want to give away any secrets, but yeah, cherry picking, some people call it cheating, but if you're not cheating, you're not trying. So we needed to try something in that basketball game to get us going in the second half, and luckily they didn't adjust to it. But we'll see. You never know. I mean, throughout the course of the basketball game, we got to do whatever it takes to win. So if that's what it takes to win, we'll definitely try it.
And then the Eagles will host Colorado School of Mines on Sunday at 1 p.m. The Ore Diggers are 2-7 on the season, 1-2 in the RMEC. Kind of had a tough weekend. They lost 54-49 at when they hosted University of Colorado Springs, and then kind of got blown out by Colorado State University Pueblo 73-59. With that being said, the Ore Diggers are always a balanced team, and they're going to basically use the entire shot clock to get into their offense.
Yeah, they're a very, very deliberate offensive basketball team. They're going to walk the ball down the court. They're going to get in one of their sets. They got, more offensive plays than our football team does, I think, and they'll sit out there and call Black Razor 55 down out, and they'll have screens coming from everywhere and back screens and dribble penetration and slip screens. And to be honest with you, we don't have enough time to sit there and diagram every single play, and our kids won't remember them anyways with that many plays. So it doesn't do us a whole heck of a lot of good. But what we have to do is just try to, throw a pretty unique defense at them, just so it keeps them a little bit off balance, hopefully.
All right, Coach. Well, hopefully you can get back on the winning side of things after that nice victory against Regis on Friday when you host CCU and Colorado Mines. I want people to remember that both of those games are Saturday and Sunday at 1 p.m. because they're different times. So best of luck to you this weekend, Coach.
All right, thanks a lot.